I think we're going to find some really cool stuff in this material.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think, like, when we think about music, right, we often think of it as entertainment.
Right.
But it's so much more than that.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's really woven into, like, the fabric of our society.
Yeah, and it's constantly evolving, too.
Exactly. And, you know,
Right.
speaking of someone who embodies that connection between music and social change, I mean, there's no one like Harry Belafonte.
Oh, he's a legend.
Right. He was so much more than just a musician. He was a huge voice in the civil rights movement.
Huge.
Close with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. involved in all these marches.
I mean,
Really
a true icon.
a true icon. And to give you a sense of his artistry, like right off the bat, let's hear a little bit of Shut Up Your Mouth,
Okay.
which he performed with Nat King Cole.
Nice.
Shut your mouth, go away. Mama look out, boo-boo day. I couldn't even digest me supper.
That was just a taste.
Wow. Like, you can really hear his energy.
You can just feel it, right?
Yeah.
To really dig into his music, we're going to be looking at a book called Becoming Belafonte by Judith Smith, who's a professor of American Studies.
Oh, you have heard of her.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
And she makes this really interesting argument that Belafonte, like, he sang folk music in a way that connected with working people
All right.
all over the world.
He had this way of, like, making it the music of the people.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just for one group, it was for everyone.
Exactly. And he brought this really rich performance style to it, too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Like, he was so dynamic on stage.
Right. And Professor Smith actually calls him a performance artist because he was so much more than just a singer.
Right.
Like, he would use his whole body, even started playing guitar later on.
Really?
Yeah, to, like, really embody the music
That's so cool.
and the traditions it represented.
I mean, that really shows how much he cared about the music.
Yeah, and it wasn't just about entertainment for him.
Right.
Like, he really wanted to use his platform to talk about important issues.
Like labor rights, racial equality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And global solidarity, too.
He was really ahead of his time.
And what's really interesting is that his commitment to social justice, it wasn't something that he, like, picked up later in his career.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, he became politically aware, like, back in the late 1940s.
Wow.
Which was, like, a really intense time in America, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, there was so much questioning about, like, what democracy actually meant.
Right. Especially for Black people.
Especially for Black people, like, facing such inequality.
Right.
So his concern for social justice, it was already there before he even met Dr. King.
So it was, like, always a part of him.
Yeah, it was, like,
Yeah.
a part of him. And Professor Smith talks about how they first met in 1956
Okay.
when King went to New York to raise money for the civil rights movement.
Right.
And Belafonte himself said that he wasn't always a fan of Black ministers, but he was so impressed by King's humility
Yeah.
and the power of, like, the everyday people who were behind the Montgomery bus boycott.
Right.
Like, that really moved him.
I can see why.
And when King asked for his support,
I bet he didn't even hesitate.
he didn't hesitate at all. He was, like, all in.
Wow.
And he didn't just support King and the movement.
Right.
He was also really involved with, like, the radical students who were doing the sit-ins.
So he was, like, supporting all these different parts of the movement.
Yeah, he had this, like, really broad vision of social justice.
He sounds like an amazing guy.
Oh, yeah, he was incredible. And
Yeah.
there's this one detail that Professor Smith shares that I found really surprising.
Okay.
A lot of people associate Belafonte with Jamaica, but he was actually born and raised in Harlem,
Oh, wow.
in New York City.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was part of this, like, really vibrant Black and West Indies community there.
That is interesting.
Although he did spend time in Jamaica, too.
Right.
But yeah, it's really interesting to see how his background, like, shaped his perspective.
Right.
And Professor Smith emphasizes, like, how much he did.
Yeah.
Not just in music, but, like, all the different people and causes that he supported.
Like, his reach was so wide.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It is.
So we've talked about Belafonte's impact,
Right.
but let's zoom out a little bit
Okay.
and look at the bigger picture of how music has shaped social change throughout history.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, and our articles really highlight this theme that music brings people together.
Right.
It amplifies voices that are often silenced,
Yeah.
and it challenges the way things are.
And this has been happening for, like, centuries, right?
Yeah, we see it in the civil rights era, in the anti-war protests.
So many examples.
Like, it's a constant thread.
Yeah, it's like music taps into something deep within us.
Yeah,
Like a need to connect and express ourselves together.
especially when things are tough.
Yeah.
like during times of upheaval.
Exactly.
And the articles give some really powerful examples.
Okay, curious.
Like in the civil rights movement, think about songs like We Shall Overcome.
Oh.
For even like the energy of Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Oh, yeah.
Those songs like fueled the fight for equality.
They give people strength and hope.
Exactly. And then you have the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa
Right.
with songs like Nkosi Sikolwe Africa and Asimbananga.
Powerful songs.
So powerful. They
Yeah.
were symbols of resistance and hope.
More than just music.
Yeah, they were like anthems.
Anthems.
And even going back to the World Wars, music played a big role in keeping people's spirits up.
Right, like during World War I and II.
Yeah, with songs like Over There and White Cliffs of Dover.
Those songs really brought people together.
And then during the Vietnam War.
Things shifted a bit there.
Right. Artists started using music to really criticize the government.
Yeah, they weren't afraid to speak out.
They were using their voices to protest.
It was a powerful time for music.
And we can't forget the feminist movement.
Right.
Music has been so important in challenging gender norms
Absolutely.
and giving women a platform to share their experiences.
Music can be a powerful tool for change.
So how does music actually make a difference in these movements?
Yeah.
Like, what are the mechanisms?
That's a good question.
Well, our sources point to a few key things,
Okay.
like protest songs, for example.
Right.
They have this incredible ability to ignite passion
Oh, yeah.
and create this feeling of unity.
Like when you're singing with a crowd.
It's powerful.
It's electric.
And music also educates people.
Yeah.
It raises awareness about important issues.
And gives a voice to the voiceless.
Exactly. It can even help with healing and reconciliation after conflict.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And when people sing together,
Especially songs with a message.
right, it strengthens their bond, creates a shared identity.
And that's essential for any social justice movement.
It's like fuel for the movement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this leads us to like the sociological effects of music.
Okay.
One of the articles we have is called Impact of Music on Society.
Catchy title.
And it talks about how music influences society on all these different levels, emotionally, morally, culturally.
Right.
Like, for example, when different cultures share music,
Yeah.
it helps them understand each other better.
It's like a window into another way of life.
Exactly. And music can even bridge communication gaps.
Especially during conflicts.
Yeah, when people might not be able to talk to each other.
Music can be a common ground.
It's like a universal language.
Yeah.
And the article also makes a really strong point about music being a cultural right,
Interesting.
like something that should be protected
Yeah.
because it can actually support other human rights.
How so?
Well, it can promote healing, break down barriers, foster reconciliation.
Dreadful stuff. And it can also be used for education.
Right.
And on a personal level, we all use music for relaxation, for self-expression, for
Yeah.
our well-being.
Music can be really therapeutic.
Right. And when individuals feel empowered,
That can have a ripple effect.
exactly, they're more likely to make a positive impact on society.
So it's like individual empowerment leading to social change.
Yeah, it's this cool, like, two-way street.
I like that.
And music has this really unique ability to connect with people
Right.
and influence them.
In a way that words sometimes can't.
It's like it speaks to our emotions in
Yeah.
a way that nothing else can.
It can be so powerful.
Right. It can lift us up.
Yeah.
It can energize us,
Soothe us when we're anxious.
encourage us when we're down.
Re-inspire us when we've lost our way.
Exactly. And it's even good for our physical health.
I believe it.
It's pretty amazing.
It is.
And, you know, songs, melodies, they can inspire us to take action.
Oh, yeah.
And they can help us figure out who we are.
Like our identity,
Right. Music has this power to unite people.
even when we're alone,
Yeah, like when you're listening to your headphones,
we still feel connected.
you feel connected to something bigger.
Yeah, like a community of people who feel the same way.
Exactly. And it gives a voice to people who might not be heard otherwise.
So important.
It affects our mood, our inspiration. It helps us cope with tough times.
It can be a real source of strength.
And it even helps us learn and share ideas.
It's like a multi-tool for personal and social growth.
I like that, a multi-tool.
Yeah.
And our sources also talk about how music affects our thoughts and actions.
Okay, how so?
Well, it taps into our memories,
Yeah.
our subconscious thoughts, our deepest emotions,
Our core interests.
and even our core interests.
Wow.
Like music therapy.
Right.
It's a real thing.
It is.
And it's used to improve focus and memory.
And it can help people with dementia and Alzheimer's.
Right. And it has this potential to be a healing tool
Powerful stuff.
in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And, thanks to neuroscience,
Oh, yeah. We're starting to understand how music affects us on a biological level.
like literally how it changes our brains.
Yeah. Brain scans show that listening to or performing music
Activates almost all areas of the brain.
at the same time,
That's incredible.
it's wild.
Yeah.
And it might even change the way our brains work over time.
So music is like a workout for your brain.
And there's this really cool study from 2011
Okay.
that showed that music can actually influence how we see other people's facial expressions.
Really?
Yeah, like it triggers all these chemical reactions in our brains.
So music affects not just how we feel,
Right.
but how we perceive the world around us.
Exactly. And speaking of chemical reactions,
Right.
music also affects our well-being.
Through hormones.
Yeah, it's been shown to increase oxytocin,
The love hormone.
which makes us more social and trusting.
It boosts our immune system, too.
Right. And it can increase melatonin
Which helps us sleep,
and adrenaline and noradrenaline.
which make us feel alert and excited. And activate the brain's reward system.
So music is like a natural mood booster.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And when we look at culture,
Okay.
popular music often reflects what's going on in society at the time.
Like it's a mirror of our culture.
And musical trends change so quickly,
Oh, yeah.
often mirroring like bigger shifts in society.
Like a cultural barometer.
And it's funny how new types of music are often met with resistance.
Oh, yeah.
Like people thought jazz was scandalous,
Rock and roll, too.
then rock and roll, then hip hop.
It's like every generation has its controversial music.
Right, and even the Beatles.
They weren't universally loved at first.
They weren't.
Nope.
It's crazy to think about.
It is.
But it just shows that like we need to be open to different forms of musical expression.
Yeah, because they all reflect something about our culture.
And they can spark important conversations.
And drive change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And music's role in social change.
It's undeniable.
It's undeniable.
Yeah.
Like think about the freedom songs of the civil rights movement.
Oh, yeah.
We shall overcome strange fruit.
Powerful songs.
They broke down barriers.
They educated people.
They built empathy.
And they helped end segregation.
And even today, music is still shining a light on injustice.
And advocating for human rights.
And speaking of impact,
Right.
we can't forget about young people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of research showing that music education is linked to better academic performance.
Like across all subjects.
Yeah, and better social emotional skills.
Better attendance.
Higher graduation rates.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing.
It is.
And there are these cool case studies from places like Newark, New Jersey,
Okay.
and the Metro Nashville Public Schools.
That's great.
Yeah, it's really inspiring to see how music can make such a difference.
It's more than just learning to play an instrument.
Right, it's about developing these essential life skills.
Exactly.
Now let's shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about this really interesting TEDx talk by Ariana Sadre. She talks about how in some countries, governments are actually afraid of the arts. Afraid of the arts, especially music.
Why would they be afraid of music?
Because it has this power to unite people.
Oh, I see.
And when people are united, they're empowered.
Right.
And that can be a threat to those in power.
So music can be subversive.
In a way, yeah.
Wow.
And Ariana shares her own experience as a first-generation immigrant from Iran.
Okay.
And she talks about how music helped her bridge the gap between English and Farsi cultures.
Interesting.
Yeah, like language can sometimes feel like a barrier,
Yeah, with all the different rules.
but music,
It's more universal.
it's more universal. It's
Yeah.
this language of notes and melodies and rhythms.
You can transcend those barriers.
Exactly. And she actually used music to make friends in middle school.
Oh, that's sweet.
She would share Persian music with her classmates.
And it helped them connect.
Yeah, even though they came from different backgrounds.
Music is a powerful tool for building bridges.
And she also talks about how street performances in Iran are like this subtle form of rebellion. Like imagine someone playing Billie Jean on a dulcimer.
Dulcimer.
On a dulcimer right there on the street.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's this fusion of cultures.
And a quiet act of defiance.
Exactly. And she also highlights the ongoing revolution in Iran,
Right?
led by young women who are fighting for their rights.
Such a brave movement.
And the protest song Barai
Yeah.
has played a really big role in that movement.
It's become an anthem.
It's become an anthem.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it has this really simple melody,
Easy to remember.
easy to remember and share.
And share.
And it uses actual tweets from protesters.
Wow.
And it includes this powerful slogan, Zan Zindagi Azadi.
What does that mean?
It means woman, life, freedom.
Woman, life, freedom.
It's pretty easy to say,
Yeah.
Do you want to try it with me?
Sure.
Zanzandegi Azadi.
Zanzandegi Azadi.
See?
That's powerful.
Something so simple.
Can have such a big impact.
And that brings us to another really inspiring TEDx talk.
Okay.
By Miranda Norlin.
Already.
And she talks about social justice through music education.
Interesting.
Yeah, and she shares this really moving story about a 17-year-old prisoner in Venezuela named Lenar.
Okay.
And someone gave him a clarinet and
that.
taught him how to play.
Wow.
And he said that holding the clarinet felt a lot different than holding a gun.
That's powerful.
It's a really powerful image.
Yeah.
And this transformation is connected to this amazing program called El Sistema.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, El Sistema is this free after-school program.
In Venezuela.
In Venezuela.
Yeah.
And it teaches kids from poor backgrounds how to play orchestral instruments.
That's amazing.
And for a lot of these kids,
It gives them hope.
it gives them hope. It gives them a path.
Yeah, a positive alternative.
And it's not just about the music itself.
Right.
There's this neuroscientist, Adele Diamond, and she makes this really interesting point that the ability to problem solve, to collaborate,
And to think creatively?
are actually better predictors of success in life than IQ.
Interesting.
Yeah, and she believes that El Sistema teaches these skills
Through music.
through music.
Wow.
Because playing an instrument,
It's challenging.
it's challenging.
You have to be disciplined.
You have to be disciplined. You have to persevere.
And playing in an orchestra,
Yeah.
you have to listen to others.
You have to work together.
You have to be in sync.
And beyond the academic stuff,
Right.
El Sistema creates this incredible sense of community
Oh, yeah.
and friendship.
Like a family.
Yeah, the orchestra becomes like a positive gang.
I love that.
It unites families.
It brings people together.
And it's even become a national symbol for Venezuela.
Wow.
And mentorship is a big part of it, too.
Like the older students teaching the younger ones.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
really beautiful to see.
It is.
And the impact of El Sistema has spread all over the world.
That's great.
There are similar programs in so many countries now,
Including the U.S.
including the U.S., and there's this really inspiring initiative to start a program in Asheville, North Carolina.
I love that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
as one El Sistema organizer said,
Hi.
if you can help a poor kid here, you can help a poor kid anywhere. It doesn't matter their culture, it doesn't matter their race, it's music. Everybody loves music.
That's beautiful.
It is, and it really speaks to the universal power of music.
Yeah, it's something that connects us all.
And the music's impact upon society article,
Okay.
it reminds us that music is a safe space for self-expression,
So important.
and that studying music can help us understand its role in society.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to think about how long music has been a part of human history.
Right.
Like, archaeologists have found evidence of early music from like 43,000 years ago.
Wow.
And we even have the earliest recorded song
Really?
from a 4,000-year-old Sumerian clay tablet.
That's incredible.
It just shows how deeply rooted music is in our human experience.
Yeah, it's been with us from the beginning.
So to sum it all up,
Okay.
music connects us emotionally, socially, culturally.
It's a tool for education.
It allows for so much creativity.
It can be used for entertainment, relaxation, escape.
And as Bronx science student Aaron Reyes said,
Okay.
there is nothing else to focus on other than the quality of the art being created. In that way, it's kind of an escape from the rest of the universe.
I feel that.
I feel that too.
Yeah.
And music can make us feel safe and connected.
Like we're not alone.
And it can help us cope with difficult times.
It can be a symbol of hope,
And it can give us a voice.
especially when we feel powerless.
And culturally, it brings people together.
Connects them to their heritage.
Brings them joy.
And ethnic groups use music to share their cultures and traditions.
And sometimes even their languages.
It's amazing how much music can do.
It really is. And think about songs like I Am Woman by Helen Reddy,
Oh, yeah.
which was such a powerful anthem for the feminist movement,
And The Principle by Melanie Martinez.
right? Which criticizes political power structures
Music gives artists a platform to share their views
and to educate their
on
audiences.
important issues.
But we also have to acknowledge that music can have some negative effects.
Right.
Like, some people are concerned about explicit lyrics
Especially in rap music.
and how it might influence young people.
And the emotions that music conveys,
Yeah.
they can sometimes affect our thinking in negative ways.
And it's even possible for music to make mental health worse
Especially if we're not careful.
if we're not mindful about what we're listening to.
Right.
And there's research suggesting a link between aggressive music and aggressive behavior.
So it's important to be aware of the potential downsides.
But even with those downsides,
Music is still incredibly important.
it's an essential part of our society.
It shapes us in so many ways.
And it will continue to be important for years to come.
For sure.
So to quickly recap,
Okay.
we talked about Harry Belafonte and his incredible legacy.
As both a musician and an activist
We looked at how music has driven social change.
throughout history,
We explored its sociological impact on individuals and communities.
and its role in political expression and cultural identity.
We were inspired by the story of El Sistema.
And we considered both the positive and negative effects of music.
It's been a really fascinating deep dive.
It has.
And now a final thought for you to consider.
I'm all ears.
What music has moved you the most?
Hmm.
Has it inspired you to take action?
Or to see the world differently.
Or maybe it just made you feel something deep inside?
Yeah.
How can you use music to make a positive difference in your own life and in your community?
That's a good question.
What's your melody of social justice?
I like that.
And we encourage you to keep exploring the topics we discussed today.
Yeah.
Maybe check out El Sistema programs in your area.
Or listen more closely to the messages in your favorite music.
The conversation, like the music,
Keeps going.
it keeps going.